outside. I fed the boys' cat. And I'm waiting on the coffee to make. That's what I do. Well, my coffee's probably not ready, so I'll stick around here for a couple more minutes before I go. I'd rather go in there and it be done as to go in there and have to think, well, I got to stand here or do something else, or hey, I'm gonna wait a few minutes before I go check on the coffee. What is sneaky cup? Yeah, but when it seems like you sneak you a cup, it's either too weak or too strong. I can't figure out what it is. I think it's too weak. No, it's too strong because all the water's run down on it and it hadn't run the extra water in there to, make it its normal flavor. Yeah, I do that every once in a while. And I make it strong enough anyhow that I don't need it any stronger. Well, I know we're not a bunch of hardliners like we used to be. Hell, I'd get in here at 4:30 and catch Gary going to work, and be Brooks and I, and then that porter would filter in, and how it was going strong by 5 a.m. and hell last till 9 o'clock. We usually had 30, 40 guys come through here, but that's not the way it is anymore.
KE8WUR.
Good morning from W8WAM in full Southwest Ohio.
Good morning. This is Steve out of Mason County, West Virginia. It's been a little while since I've been on here. Got on here yesterday for a bit, but just getting reacquainted with everybody. Is this Robin?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, buddy. It sure is. I've been out of here the last few days. I've been trying to do things around the house and get things going for springtime.
Yeah, I copy that. Same here. I got the grass cut yesterday right before the rain come in, but it's been too wet. I haven't been able to get my garden plowed up, and I'm hoping to get a little bit of dry weather to be able to do that.
Grass mowed day before yesterday, and we had a shower, Thursday evening, so I got it mowed in time, and just running around yesterday. We have a 35-foot recreational vehicle behind in a private campground over in Indiana, about 40 miles from here. Getting things ready to open it up. My son and grandson are spending the weekend out there, and I think the wife and I are taking some steaks and stuff out and going to do some family things this evening.
Yeah, I copy that. I got my grandbaby coming over today. He's about 1.5 years old, and we're going to keep him overnight, so we'll get to enjoy the day with him.
Well, good for you. My grandson's 4, and my other son, him and his gal got one on the way. 4-year-old, he's a handful to keep occupied and keep busy.
Yeah, same here with our 1.5-year-old grandson. He does pretty good. My wife likes to get him outside and stuff, and walk him around the garden and the chicken coop, and that does pretty good to keep him entertained. And when he gets upset, we put that Bluey on the TV, and that seems to settle him right down.
Yes, here's Mom and Pop and Bingo and Bluey. I've watched that a few times.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. If you know, you know, right?
Absolutely. We got 43 degrees, sun's coming up over the horizon, halfway light outside.
Yeah, same here. It's I don't know the exact temperature here. I'm sure it's probably about what you've got, but I know I've had to dress a little bit warmer. I was running around in short sleeves, and now I've got on a sweatshirt.
Yeah, earlier in the week I think we had a couple days it got in the low 80s, and yesterday
Okay folks, it's time for another video. I know it's been a little while, but I'll explain to you what's been going on with me. I wanted to give you a shot of my antenna array up here. Now, we had some windstorms about a couple weeks ago, and my antenna system kind of took it on the chin a little bit. So I've had to take that apart and check all the connections. And I had to check a lot of the lashings. That antenna is called an off-center fed dipole antenna. And that gives me a multi-band range. I usually operate off of 80 meters. And I chat with some folks in the morning and the evening over on 80. But anyway, I had to redo this one connection down here. I'll take you down there and let you see that. Okay, right here, I had a little all-weather rope that I use for backpacking and use that to hang my bear bag. But I was using that little rope to run from this insulator all the way to the tie-off point there on my chain link fence. Well, I've substituted that for a rubber strap from my truck driving days that I used to use on my flatbed tarps. And up here around the ballon box, you can see on the bottom where the coax cable attaches. Once I had all that on the ground, I undid the coax cable connector, and I just made sure that it was fastened on tight and that there was no water inside the connection. And over here on the other side of the antenna, I did something similar. You could see where we have a lot of this honeysuckle and a lot of these vines that grow up on the fence line. They were starting to crawl up the antenna a little bit, so we had to do some weeding there, and we got all that free from the vines. But all that's part of being a ham, folks. You know, it's not a one and done type of situation. Sometimes things happen. You know, antenna systems have to be maintained. And the same thing that goes with these radios in here. You cannot assume that everything is going to work perfectly whenever you flip these switches on and power up the system. Sometimes things goes wrong. You'll have to start checking your cable connections and so on and so forth. But anyway, I wanted to give you an update as what's been going on. I put in the community section, I've been trying to stay in touch with you guys a little bit. At the end of February, I suffered a workplace accident. I'm a forklift operator, and I was finishing loading a truck trailer, and the truck pulled out from underneath of me. And while I was on the forklift fell backwards and crashed to the concrete below. Although I wasn't, you know, didn't suffer any broken bones or anything like that, I was beat up there for a couple weeks, kind of stoved up and sore. And I've been recovering from that a little bit, but now everything's fine. I haven't told you directly, but I guess you've probably kind of gathered if you've been following the channel that I suffer a little bit from anxiety. And sometimes I take spells where I wouldn't say I get depressed, but I just don't want to go anywhere or do anything. And I've been focusing on my yoga and meditation, things like that, because that really helps me to keep my, you know, anxiety under control. And so I've been kind of doing that. I've been focusing more on my diet. I'm down roughly 15 pounds since the last time that I've shot a video. So that's where my focus has been. And you know, for those of you that have wanted to see more videos from me, I apologize. And you know, I'll try to do better moving forward. But just know, if you're a subscriber or a regular viewer of the channel, that sometimes these things happen with me, and I just need to take a little break and kind of turn my attention inward. But anyway, I had to get my radio station back online. You know, I hadn't done anything with my radio in a while. And we had that round of storms come through a couple weeks ago. And, you know, it kind of played heck with the antenna system. And, you know, we had a little break during the storms. And I was turned on the radio and was trying to get information. And although I could hear the stations pretty well, I couldn't transmit out. They were complaining that, you know, my transmissions were cutting in and out. They couldn't understand all of my call sign. And so I had to do things to the antenna system, which I've already kind of walked you through. And, you know, and I did those things. And after that, everything seems to be working fine. I've been on the radio the past couple of days, and everybody can hear me all right. So, you know, that's one of the interesting things about ham radio, is that it challenges you mentally and sometimes physically, because you got to get out there and do a little bit of physical labor on these antennas and things like that. And mentally, you have to try to diagnose these different problems that come up from time to time. But I have resolved to do better also. I'm going to check in on these nets that I check in with on a regular basis, and not to let that go, because we don't have the liberty of knowing when things are going to happen that affect our communication ability. You know, we didn't lose power here, but my dad lost power for about a week, and my dad, you know, didn't have any way to communicate with him, and which, honestly, that's probably worthy of a video in and of itself. But anyway, you know, so, but we were fortunate here not to have some of those issues. I could still receive, even though I couldn't transmit, so I still had the ability to gather some information and find out what was going on with different regions of the country. You know, that's one of the things with being a preparedness-minded individual, is that, you know, you can't really let your guard down. You can't afford to be complacent, because things happen at a moment's notice, and you're only as good as your training. Whenever bad things happen, people will think that they will rise to the occasion, but what will actually happen is that they will fall to the level of their training. And if your training is lacking or non-existent, then that's going to show up really quick. I think that's about all I'll do for this video. I will probably start doing more videos about ham radio in the future, but I'm going to go ahead and let you go for now, because my grandson is supposed to arrive here within the hour. If you've ever had a toddler, you know the deal there. They can be quite a handful. But anyway, I'll let you go for now, and I hope everything is well with you and yours, and we'll see you in the next video.